And the masters of the universe by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Amanda Gilliam Presents. That's right, we have the power. That's right, Dennis and I are home from seeing He-Man, the Masters of the Universe movie, and I'm going to warn everybody right now, we're probably going to do some spoilers. There's going to be some history of the lore, but before we get into anything, first off, our experience was total bank because the theater was just packed with 3 people.
So, for context, everyone, it's not like we went to like a 7 o'clock show. We went to the very last showing of a night. We were the last ones even in the theater. So it was just me, her, and my fiance, Cassie.
I think it was so funny because Cassie originally sat down next to me, and you're like, no, honey, you're not the nerd. You go over there. I have to sit next to Amanda for this.
Right, because there's so much, there was so much we had to just kind of like nerd out with that.
Oh my gosh. And we totally nerd out. This movie
We did.
It was campy, but dude, He-Man, warning, He-Man kills people. Like I said, there's gonna be spoilers. Like, oh my god. So being in the theater and with nobody else in there, I think it gave us even a better experience because we were allowed to be as loud as we wanted to be.
Loud, obnoxious, and funny.
So let's hit the elephant in the room that everybody's afraid of. Jared Leto. Because when Jared Leto's, it's really obvious.
Right?
It's really not there in this movie.
There were like 1 or 2 points.
I think there was like 2 or 3, especially the whole teeth chumpy thingy that he does.
Yeah, when we kind of start recapping the movie, we'll get to that part.
That was a little cringe. Like there's certain points where you can hear the Leto, but how do I explain this? Jeremy Irons into this role. He hams it up so much like Jeremy Irons in Dungeons and Dragons.
No, Skeletor is a goofball.
They really had fun. The movie really wears its heart on its sleeve, and you could tell that the people really enjoyed what they were doing, and they really honored and this is something that I cannot stress enough. They didn't just honor the cartoon. Yep. They honored all the cartoons, even even points of the Kevin Smith one. They've honored the comic strips, the mini comics, the DC comics, the Marvel comics, the 1987 movie, the toy line, and the cartoon.
Oh my god!
It was all there.
That was.
I absolutely love it. And let me stress, I need you all to go see this movie. I don't care. I don't even care if you're the naysayers who go, well, because Skeletor's not doing the Skeletor voice, it's automatically bad, which you are wrong. Yes, as somebody who loves the Skeletor voice, okay, I do. I love it. Okay, Skeletor will always have that voice. The darker tone really kind of works because there are darker tones in this. Because this is not, let me stress this is not a kid's movie. It's not. It really isn't.
What's it rated? It's like PG-13?
I don't care. This is not a kid's movie. There is a lot of cussing. People die. This isn't the He-Man who's like, I have a sword and I'm never going to use it. No, he uses it. And there's a lot of sexual undertones in this movie. Both of the straight and the homosexual.
Oh, yeah. She was, yeah.
Dude. I was not expecting them to do the homosexual tones of He-Man and Skeletor, but they're like, nah, we're going all in. We are going all in.
I thought you were talking about Tila and Evelyn.
Oh, there's that too. And Evelyn is Skeletor, Evelyn looking at He-Man, Tila and Adam, Tila and He-Man. It's all there. Every little fanfic that we ever wrote as a kid. The fisto jokes of him fisting people, like, Even head jokes for Mech and Neck, they're there. Now, will little kids still enjoy the movie if you take them? Yes. Will they get all of those references? No. But keep in mind, you're going to take your kid to go see this. You better be living in the 1980s adulthood when our parents took us to go see stuff, knowing that it's going to go over your kid's head if you take your kids to see it. But it's good. I cannot stress enough. If you've enjoyed the movie, if you're a He-Man fan, you're going to enjoy this movie. Yes. No matter what your iteration is, whether you grew up in the 80s or it's the movie or the remakes. Dude, they put so much nostalgia in this. There's even stuff from that crappy The New Adventures of He-Man when he was in outer space. Okay, come on. God, that was such a horrible series. I own it, but it's such a horror. I own it.
Get out of it.
I own it.
Certain mistakes of the past that we will never put behind us.
Which I own, but I stress.
Okay. So we talked about
because that's the ship that they escape Snake Mountain in.
Fizzy wants to talk about He-Man too.
Yeah, hi. Hello. We're not doing any Alistair stuff today, honey. This is all about He-Man. Okay, so here's your. No. She snubbed it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
She snubbed it. He's like, no, don't want. Okay, I'll take it.
She wants her real bones, but mommy doesn't get paid for another week, so she's just gonna have to live without for a little bit. Anyway, so they did a live action Voltron movie. It's going to go directly to Amazon. And I feel that if this doesn't do well at the box office, that's what they're going to do with the sequels to this. I feel that they will still do the sequels. I just feel that the production will come down a little bit and it'll go direct to streaming, which I don't want. I really don't want.
Nobody wants that. Everyone wants
I want my Voltron on the big screen. I'm a huge Voltron fanatic. Yeah. I want to see Prince Lotor capture Princess Allura on the big screen. Give it to me. Let me have it.
It's giant robots hitting giant robots. Of course we want to see it. I'm 5, god damn it.
Seriously, I felt like I was 6 years old in the theater. It was so much fun. Okay, all in all, just straight up, I'm going to say I absolutely love the movie. I would watch it again. I'm going to own this when it comes on streaming services. I'm going to stream it. But this is going to be one of those movies. And I don't buy a lot of movies nowadays because I can just stream stuff. I'm buying this MFer into my collection.
Right.
Well, let's talk about the fact that it is chock full of Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. This thing has so many Easter eggs. First Easter egg is the music fucking alone.
Yes.
Even though this movie takes place in modern times, it is so 80s nostalgic thanks to the music.
I was about to say, I was like, I kind of wish it was a little more like set in the 80s, like have him be back there, kind of be a little more. But okay, fine, you put it in modern times. We'll work with that.
You know what? I kind of like that it's in modern times because it feels, I'm kind of over that everything has to be in the 80s. I like a modern time with the 80s feels. It's like it gives that more. Sorry, Gen X did this type feel. And let's face it, the real feel that this music gives you, and I know that it was inspired from it, was Flash. It has the Queen feel, and they
actually use Queen at one point in this movie.
They do. But the guy one of the guys that did the music is Brian May from Queen.
Yep.
So, but yes, they use the Highlander song.
Princess of the Universe. Princess
of the Universe, which is also cheeky for the fact that they actually do a Highlander reference within the movie. One of the very first Easter egg we get, which you and I flipped out over, was Cringer and the MGM logo.
Yep.
Oh.
Cringer coming in.
Oh my God, Cringer in the MGM logo was everything I needed. The movie starts off with Adam telling his story, his backstory.
Yep.
In the most inappropriate place ever. He explains his backstory on a freaking date. Like, bro.
Like, goes through he's on a hinge date and he's explaining he comes from Eternia and he's looking for a magic sword of power. And I called it. Like, she gets up to go. And he starts trying to talk again, and I'm like, bro, she's gone.
You and I are literally going, dude, nah,
Bro,
dude.
Bro, she's left already, and it looked like a nice ass restaurant.
Now, if you don't know a little bit of the lore of He-Man, you've never seen He-Man or anything like that, here's a little bit of a lore dump. So Eternia is a planet that exists in the center of the universe as the nexus of power, and it is created by three primordial deities. Zor, which is the bird that you see the sorceress turn into, which is the bird god, which is the primary deity, which is the one that Adam and the sorceress worship. Ka, the snake guy, which is worshipped by the snake men, which we don't see in this. I think you see like pictures or drawings on the walls of them, but they're not
like references to it, yeah.
And they also worship, now this isn't one of the gods, but a lesser god called Serpos, who's actually a giant snake who gets turned to stone, which is Snake Mountain. That is an actual snake that they are living in. And then Havoc, the god of chaos, which you'll hear Skeletor call his staff the Havoc staff. That's what he's wielding. It's actually a magical energy, which is a portion of Havoc's power. And it's actually, if you know the He-Man lore, Skeletor actually happens to be King Randor's older half-brother, and the actual should be king of Eternia. And when Hordak, who we haven't met within this movie realm, but if you know She-Ra, you know who Hordak is the one that gave him the Havoc staff, and the power ended up melting off Skeletor's face. Once upon a time, Skeletor was a Skeletor. He was Keldor, and he happens to be King Randall's older half brother, and he's actually the true heir to Eternia. So, and keep in mind that the three gods create Eternia as the nexus of celestial power, which is the power of the universe, which is where the sword of power, and He-Man gets his power. So basically telling you that He-Man has the power of the entire fucking universe. And if Eternia is ever destroyed, there goes the universe.
Bye-bye reality.
And the reason why I bring up Skeletor being King Randall's half older brother, it should be the true ruler, is even though they don't touch on it, they do touch on it by saying how he wanted to watch King Randall fall, and the fact that he puts his crown on his head and wears it through the rest of the damn movie.
Yes.
Symbolizing what I just said. So he tells the story, blah, 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 how Skeletor attacks, he gets the sword, it gets whisked away to Earth. Why Earth? Because Queen Marlena is from here. Matter of fact, when she is talking to Adam when he's telling his story, and he's like, but I don't want to go to training, you can actually see her astronaut helmet in the background from Earth.
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know, yes, Queen Marlena, He-Man / Prince Adam's mommy, is actually from Earth and ended up on Eternia
in this flashback sequence, and that's kind of where they introduce, Man-at-Arms, and then later on when the attack happens, they introduce some of the other during the combat training, it's shown that Prince Adam is not great and kind of a goof off, and there's a weirdly, because you and I both thought this was weirdly out of character, weird moment of the king being like really mean to Prince Adam, like embarrassing him in front of everybody, and then just walking away.
But it's a key point within the story.
Right, it is.
So the undertone of everything is He-Man is the He-Man that we grew up from the 1980s cartoon. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to harm, which I find interesting because when he shows up on Earth and becomes an adult, he works in human resources.
Yeah, perfect for him. Perfect conflict resolution.
So anyway, blah, 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 a few things happen, yada, yada, yada. He's looking for the sword. Someone says they found the sword, and he goes to a toy store. First, the name of the toy store is called the Fright Zone. The Fright Zone is where Hordak lives on Etheria. On top of that, their thing is a skull, which is referencing Skeletor. So the toy store alone references Hordak, She-Ra, and Skeletor, all right there in your face. One of the toys in the background is called the Big Jim, which is a failed toy line right before they came out with He-Man. And within the Big Jim, and I actually know this, I knew this the moment I saw the toy in the background, the Big Jim toy line had the Big Jim tiger, which they just pulled those tigers, painted them green, and made them Cringer and Battle Cat.
See, I was going to say, I noticed the Big Jim thing, and I was like, that seems important.
It is. It was completely important, as
Yeah.
well as, so when we first watched the teaser trailer,
Yep.
we saw the barbarian and we thought it might have been Conan, which we're
No.
wrong. It's called Torak. Torak. So for those of you who do not know, here's another little He-Man history reference, because Amanda doesn't know reality. She only knows her cartoons and toys and shit. Torak is actually not a figure from the Masters of the Universe television show or the comics. He's actually the original name and aesthetic inspiration for the He-Man character himself. He was actually an early gladiator / caveman concept created by Mattel toy designer Mark Taylor back in the year of the Amanda birth in 1979.
Jesus.
So anyway, he finds the sword. It is the sword of power, and he steals it.
And a very funny scene.
He wakes up. The cops show up. They arrest him. They're on their way to the police station, and everybody starts panicking. And you hear it come in, and the music plays. And I wake in the morning, and I step outside, and there is Adam in the back of the police car, and he says the meme. What's going on?
Yeah. That fucking. They started playing it, and I just looked. I was like, "Did they fucking do the meme?" And I shouted, "Like, you fucking meme goblins! I swear to God, I'll find you."
They memed it. They memed it so hard. It was so good. Because he grabs the sword, he tries to do the line. It sends a beacon to Eternia. And so Skeletor sends Beastman to retrieve it. And Teela, grown-up Teela, shows up. Dude, when it comes to the action scenes, they are so good.
Yes,
they really are.
Fight scene with Beastman.
Just like Beastman looks good. I love the fact that they made him really more animalistic.
Like, he's like, instead of him just like walking upright and I'm a Beastman, he's like walking on his knuckles, actually moving and acting like a gorilla would. I mean, even though technically Beastman isn't a gorilla, he's just a beast. But it makes more sense for him to look more animalistic, because he kind of goes between ape and tiger movements. Like, they combine the two together. So you can't go, oh, well, he's an ape, or oh, he's a tiger, or he's this. He's just a beast, and his movements are very beastly and predatory. Moves like a predator, yes.
And I really appreciated that very much. I love the fact that when you see the battle sequence at the beginning of the movie where Skeletor attacks, you see all the toys. They did not modify the toys to fit the aesthetic of the movie. They just made the toys and went, here you go. They just live action my toys, from the Rotons to Skeletor's collector ship to the Starship Eternia from the New Adventures of He-Man, the Sky Sled, the Fright Flyers. All of it's in there. It's all in there. Like, I couldn't help it. I turned into a 6-year-old trying to crawl into the TV, because the movie does give you this feel of just being a kid and playing with your action figures, and where the cartoon held back from any violence. You as a kid was like, ah! Oh, we did skip something. We did skip Adam in the gym and Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, yeah. We got so excited. That the fucking amazing cameo.
You and I screamed like two little girls at a freaking concert.
Yes, we did, because it was amazing. I was so excited because I heard the voice. I'm like, no, they didn't. And it's Dolph Lundgren, and he turns around, and from the original movie, he does the safe travels, like
good journey.
Good journeys. Thank you.
We don't say goodbye. We say
good journey. And he turns around and he does that, and it's like we were both kind of and then when he did the good journeys, that's when we both were like, yes. Dolph is a good sport about it. He wants to come back if they do more of these movies.
Well, yes. So Dolph Lundgren actually does want to come back, and he wants to be King Grayskull.
I would dial.
And I would absolutely love and adore for Dolph Lundgren to be King Grayskull. I think that would be one of the coolest freaking things in the world. But yes, I would definitely love to see Dolph Lundgren be able to come back as King Grayskull, who was married to the first sorceress, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the sorceress, one of the Easter eggs that I don't know if anybody else caught on to is Teela picking up the Sword of Power multiple times. Now, for those of you who don't know, Duncan, aka Man at Arms, is Tila's adoptive father. The sorceress is her mother. She is the future sorceress. And I think that is foreshadowing. I think that's where they're going to go with this. I think if everything gets greenlit, the second one is going to be, say that in a little bit, but it's going to be the other show. And then I think the third one will be more like the ending of the original series, Tila becoming the sorceress, so on and so forth. Jared Leto's fucking Skeletor.
We forgot when he fucking when he first does the invasion and he beats the king and he takes the crown, puts it on his head, he does his evil monologue and ends it with just cackling like and everyone else kind of just like awkwardly stands there. They're like
and he's like, I'm done. Hello.
And he stops. And he's like, I'm done. Go on. It was amazing. It was so good. Because there's so many points where he's just a goofball. Where he really
is.
He stands there maniacally laughing, and everyone's just kind of looking around like, ha, 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 ha.
And that was something that I want to point out, because it isn't just this one time. He really does ham it up. He does this quite a few times. There's this core. And the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because on their way back from Earth to Eternia, Adam's all like, yeah, well, maybe we could just talk to Skeletor. Maybe there's something wrong with him. Maybe he's just having a bad day. She goes, no, he's evil. He's the villain. And even he says it later in the movie. No, I'm the villain. And
I don't do it because I had a bad day or I'm feeling things. And I do it because I like it.
And I appreciate that so damn much. He doesn't have a tragic backstory. He's not misunderstood. They didn't change anything about him. He's the fucking villain. End of story.
I'm the bad guy.
And at the end of the movie, there's this point where He-Man is trying to be 1980s He-Man, where he's like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about your feelings. Let you become the good guy. And it references the 1980s He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special, where Skeletor ends up saving 2 Earthling kids. And he's like, I don't like this feeling. And he's like, that's goodness. And he's like, I don't want to be good. I want to be evil. And it references that. And I love it so damn much. I am not the good guy. I am the bad guy. I am the villain. That is my entire character arc. Get off me. Now, speaking of villain, there's one that it's funny. It wasn't Jared Leto that had me a little bit put offish. It was actually Alison Brie's Evil Lynn that had me off puttish. She didn't scream Evil Lynn for me. She looked good, but
yeah, she acted very muted.
Like, Evil Lynn was one of those that she always knew her place beside Skeletor, but was always scheming behind Skeletor that if he ever falls, she would take his place. And there wasn't a lot of scheming on her behalf. Well, not until we get later. And I mean much later. End of the movie, the credits roll later. She would flirt and present herself in front of Skeletor to be like, I'm here. She does it. She does it in the 1987 movie, because remember, you have Frank Langella Skeletor caressing her and stuff like that, and then he just whacks, and he does it. And Jared Leto really does this in this. He does do this in this, and I do appreciate the fact that the Havoc power, every time he grabs her and he's angry, starts to burn her, like how it melted his face off. Yeah. Which, by the way, they don't show this. This is just knowing the lore of He-Man, knowing the lore of Skeletor, and knowing what the Havoc does, how he got the stuff, and how his face became a skeleton versus the rest of his body. So, but every time he grabs her arm and it starts to burn, when he grabs her by the throat and it starts to burn and her eyes start to turn red, like it's about to melt off, it really does reference that Easter egg of what happened to Skeletor when he started using the power. But she came off a lot more fangirlish with Skeletor than trying to be his equal.
Right.
And only pretending to be submissive while she's always plotting in the background. Because even in the cartoon, there's points where Skeletor disappears and Evil Lynn takes center stage.
Right.
And so, and it's nothing to Alison Brie. I just think it's the way that it was written. but it didn't feel like the Evelyn that I know. I'm not saying she did a bad job, but of all the people and of all the characters that I was expecting to be a little bit let down with, it wasn't going to be Evelyn. I really was going in with my expectations of it being Jared Leto. The first fight is actually when Skeletor attacks the castle, and it's Duncan versus Trapjaw.
He fights Trapjaw. It is
which is kind of important because Duncan, aka Man at Arms, actually loses the battle, which puts him into a drunken stupor later in the movie. Then you have the Beastman thing on Earth, where we meet back up with Duncan, meet a couple of the Masters of the Universe. There's He-Man versus Trapjaw. They escape. Then Skeletor comes in on the holographic thing. And he does this in the cartoon too, but it really paid homage to the one that he does in the 1987 movie where he addresses Eternia and tells He-Man that he has his parents in the whole 9 yards. And so then they go to Snake Mountain, and then there's another battle. Then there's the escape fight, which is freaking hilarious as they're walking out after they escape, and they're all like trying to do the cool hero montage thing, and then they start coughing in the dust.
Oh, that was amazing.
I love that so much. And then there's that fight scene. And then, of course, we have the epic showdown in Grayskull. And they bring in a lot of references. They're you know, from the fact that let's see, people, characters, background characters that either get some screen time, don't get some screen time. You've got Trapjaw, Beastman, Triclops, Spycore, Crag, Goatman, who is actually from the 1985 Secret of the Dragon's Egg, and Merman, who shows up in a background scene behind Orko in an end credit scene.
They killed Mossman.
Wait, yes, they do. And you've got Ram Man, Mechaneck, Fisto, Mossman, Roboto. Gwildor shows up in the end credit scenes from the 1987 movie, and Dion, who is a newspaper comic character from the 1980s.
Okay, so
yes, she is a legit character.
When we got home, I didn't have an answer for her because Cassie was like, I kind of get the other guys like Mechaneck, Ramman. I kind of vaguely remember their toys, and you know, from their designs, you could tell that they're important. But she's like, who was the Dina, the chick that kept shoving him in the lockers? I'm like, I'm sure someone important, but not exactly anybody I recognize.
Let Amanda know. Amanda will know. Amanda knows these things.
Yeah, I was like, she's clearly important because she has a good section of some fight scenes to herself, and even does like a cool move that we kind of assumed was like her signature move, where she twirls and was shooting the guns.
Mm-hmm. Prince Adam's first transformation into He-Man.
Fucking glad we were alone in the theater for this.
First off, I heard a lot of people go, but he really doesn't change. He actually does, and they do a really good job of watching as he turns into He-Man, and you see his muscles start ripping up. It's not like he's like this muscle-bound brew, but you actually see the toning and the definition of Adam's muscles as he transforms. And well, I think it goes well with the theme. So there's a theme that's running if you actually pay attention. He works in human resources on Earth. He tries to talk to Skeletor at the end. Right. So when he first transforms into He-Man, he doesn't become this big, muscular, hulky guy. And you find out later from the sorceress that she chose him because of who he is on the inside.
Yeah, he's a good person.
Because he's a good person. Even though you see Adam finally going like, oh, my dad's really going to like me now because I can fight. Oh, and Man at Arms is liking me now because I can fight. And he really starts delving into the power and using the sword and punching and killing. And I'm going, well, this isn't my He-Man. What the hell? And it's one of those things where like you see like with Spider-Man, he gets the powers and he uses them not well. Right. Adam gets the power. He uses it not well at first, but learns through as he's going through to become the He-Man that we knew in the 1980s. I'm not going to throw a punch unless I have to. I will only throw the punch to defend. I will only harm and destroy if I have to. But that's not what I want to do. I want to give you the chance to do the right thing. And I really appreciated that. And I think that really helps with the whole, because everybody was like, oh, well, he doesn't really look that big. I think the fact that they chose him not to be that big really reflects on that little message within the movie.
Right, yeah. Because not everything has to be like. Yes, I want to see epic fight scenes, but I want him to also be a character.
But I love after he changes, he goes, "So what about my clothes? Do I get those back? What happened?"
And then later on,
when Skeletor beats him,
and they take the sword, they throw him back into the jail cell, and they're like, "Oh,"
and Tila's like, "Oh, you got your clothes back! Congratulations!" It's so good. It was so good. And then, of course, he does the speech that Dolph Lundgren does with him, gets everybody to get together. They break out of Snake Mountain. We have the big epic battle. He tries to get Skeletor to become good. Skeletor's like, no, I'm evil. I'm the villain. They have the fight, and Skeletor breaks the Sword of Power. Now, a lot of people are going to realize that this is kind of like Thor, that the Sword of Power isn't the vessel. They make He-Man the vessel. Yes. Prince Adam is the vessel, because Skeletor straight up yeeks into Adam.
Mm-hmm.
He stabs him with the broken sword of power.
Stabs him. Yep.
I do like the fact that Adam was able to use the power to heal himself, which is a reference to the Turtles of Grayskull, the He-Man Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover. So we have the epic battle. Adam heals himself with the power, rebuilds the sword as he pulls it out of him. Him and Skeletor have this epic battle. He-Man breaks the Havoc staff with his hand, which explodes and kills Skeletor.
Awesome.
Which is really great. Then we go, 6 months into the future, and everybody's wearing their 1980s clothes.
Oh, it was amazing. And they did the whole throwing their heads back and laughing.
The whole way too long laugh from the cartoon. I was like, oh my God, that is so good. And the fact that then he's like, oh, well, He-Man's needed. And he runs off to change when everybody's like, don't they know that we know that he's, because in this one, everybody's seen Adam turn into He-Man. Everybody knows that he's He-Man.
It was amazing. He runs off to go do it.
But he runs off to change him and Cringer into He-Man and Battle Cat. And they're just like, yeah, we'll just let him have it. We'll just let him have it.
He's like, he saved the whole world. Let him have it.
Let him have it. Because they're sitting there. And what's funny is as you're watching the movie, when Adam returns to Eternia, he's like, yeah, you're Fisto. And the guy's like, that is not my name. And you're Ram Man because you ram people. You're Fisto because you fist people.
But I do.
You're Mecha Neck because you neck people. And they're like, this is not our names. And he's like, but I was 10. So these are your names. And
I do like that bit of lore, though, that it's like, that's not their real names, but that's how he
saw them because he was like 10 years old.
It's how, and it comes back later.
Because he makes the joke when they're like, well, what was my name? And he looks at Tila and he's like, the warrior princess.
Warrior goddess. But he does this actually really good rally speech.
Right, but he also does his own name at the end. He's like, so what was your name? He-Man.
And everyone starts laughing. It's like, that's so dumb and yada yada yada. I'm like, oh, come on, guys. It was the 80s.
It was so good. It was so good.
All that kind of also comes back in an actually really, really good scene where he's trying to talk to them. He's not getting through. He's like, look, you guys don't know me, but I know all of you. I kept you all close to my heart so I could remember my home. And I was like, this is a really good scene. I fucking love this scene.
And then, of course, he runs off to become He-Man and Battle Cat, and then the credits start rolling. And throughout the credits, you'll actually get to see animated versions of all the characters. And yes, Gwildor from the 1987 shows up. Then, in good old 1980s cartoon fashion, Orko shows up with the PSA to tell us what the message of the movie was about.
That was so good.
Then we get a little bit of credit.
He didn't look half bad for the CG.
No, he really.
I gotta be honest.
He really didn't. He really didn't. And I thought it was really funny that they did the PSA thing. Like, nah, here we go. I'm like, oh dear Lord.
Remember, kids.
So in today's episode, oh Jesus criminy, come on.
Come on, Orko, you don't need to do this. Don't put us through this again, man.
I lived through so many of these. And then the big one, the real huge one was we get this scene and we're on Etheria. The She-Ra theme plays just briefly in the background. As someone walks up, you don't get to see them, they're in the shadows.
Yeah.
And they go, Force Captain Adora. And she just barely turns around and goes, not anymore. I find this interesting. So the original lore of He-Man and She-Ra, you know, twins, Hordak comes, kidnaps her, she's a baby, which is why he doesn't know about her. She was a baby when he kidnapped her. But she has the Sword of Protection. She already has this. And this is during the time that, 6 months after the defeat of Skeletor. So maybe the sorceress got it to her, because in the original, which is The Secret of the Sword, Adam, aka He-Man, goes to Etheria, finds Adora, who is working for Hordak.
Mm-hmm.
She's Force Captain Adora. She's the captain of his guards and bringing misery to everybody on Etheria. And he gives her the sword, which allows the sorceress to talk to her. And she changes into She-Ra and becomes the new hero of Etheria. And he goes, you should come home with me. She's like, no, this is my home. I grew up here and I need to fix the wrongs that I have helped create. But if he doesn't know that that's his sister, it's going to be interesting, because yes, they've changed a little bit of the lore of He-Man, because everybody knows who the hell he is. Everybody knows,
it's not
He-Man.
a secret anymore, yeah.
So it'll be quite interesting to see how they end up meeting now, how they write that into the script, since she's already got the sword, and they don't know each other exists.
Right.
So I'm really interested to see what they do with that. And then we have the very last credit scene. And Evelyn, and I think this actually takes place right after the battle. I don't think this credit scene takes place the 6 months after. But Evelyn walks up, grabs Skeletor's skull that's sitting there. And I think this really does pay homage to the ending of the 1987, because they wanted to originally do a sequel where his head comes up out of the lava and he laughs. And she picks up the head and she goes, You've never looked, or what does she exactly say again? You've looked better, my lord. And she walks off with him, and you hear the Skeletor crackle. And I don't think Skeletor's over, because if you know anything about He-Man lore, they have a heaven and a hell too. Subternia is their hell, and that's where Skeletor is right now. And Evelyn is a witch, and I have a feeling she's going to resurrect him.
Yes, to be fair, that's kind of what I thought, because when he smashes his staff and Skeletor dies, they make a point of watching his skull kind of skitter across the floor and hold the camera on it for a second. So I was like, okay, someone's going to pick that up and bring it back.
Well, it has to be Evelyn. Now, How soon does she do it? I don't know. Does she only do it because she has to? Probably. She's probably keeping his skull for just in case purposes, but in the meantime, she's ruling Snake Mountain, just like she's supposed to be doing. Hands down, this movie, so much fun. Yeah, there's a few critiques. I think there's points of it where it got a little too hammy. Some of the jokes were a little cringe. Scale of 1 to 10, what do you give the movie?
Honestly, I'd give it an 8. There's a couple points where it could have been better, but as far as an enjoyable ride goes, I'd ride it again.
Oh my God, I would so ride it again. And as soon as I could get a hold of it, I'm gonna be like, and slow-mo every freaking stupid fucking scene. So I agree though, movie 8 out of 10. There are things that could have been improved upon.
It's not like there's huge gaping issues with it. There's one or two kind of awkward and stilted scenes. A couple of things that didn't go as hard on the nostalgia and action. Some
of the jokes didn't quite land. Jared Leto, your Letoing is showing. Can you not do that for me, please? Thanks. I think they could have done better with Evelyn personally. I don't blame Alison Brie at all. She looked the part. She really did. And with the lines that she had, she delivered what she did. It's just her name's Evelyn, for Christ's sakes. Right. Evil's in her name. Fantastic movie. Great popcorn flick, lots of fun. If you are nostalgic and you like He-Man, you're an 80s fan, you like actually if you like the movie, the cartoon, the comics, the toys, the even the Kevin Smith one. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I have no problem with it. Or the Netflix series, any of that. I think you're really gonna like this movie. I wholeheartedly say give it a shot. I think you're really going to like it. I think you're going to have fun. Yeah, you're probably going to nitpick. I mean, even I nitpicked at some things. I was like, Marlena's supposed to be a redhead. She's blonde in this movie, but...
Right, yeah. It's like there's a couple details.
But, of course, then again, I was kind of doing it for the fact that we know there's a lot of people out there and they only want to focus on the bad and the negative things, the things that are different. You don't want to...
I already saw like a list of things people made. Like, oh, he's too small. Idris Elba can't play man... I thought the Idris Elba playing Man-at-Arms was like, yes, fine, he was white.
I'm sorry, I don't care.
It looked fine.
Idris Elba can play anything he wants. If Idris Elba wants to play the fucking Little Mermaid, Idris Elba can play the goddamn Little Mermaid. I don't give a shit.
I would actually watch that movie. Idris Elba as long as King Triton is played by fucking Samuel L. Jackson, I would watch that movie.
I don't care. Idris Elba can play any character he wants. If he wants to be Tila, he can be Tila. He wants to be Man-at-Arms, he can be Man-at-Arms. If he wants to play Cringer in Battle Cat, he can play Cringer. He can be who. It's Idris Elba. He can do anything. Fight me. I don't care. Idris Elba is like Michael B. Jordan to me. Man can do no wrong.
Right, yeah.
Sorry. But no. Fantastic movie. I had a lot of fun. My biggest complaint is that the Castle Grayskull popcorn bucket was not on the website for it to be ordered. And the guy would not just charge me the extra to upgrade and said that I have to pay the full $33 for a second one. That is not fair, AMC. You need to put that crap on your website so I can buy it.
Mm-hmm.
That is my biggest complaint of the entire experience is that stuff was not on the website so I can have my collectible thing because I ain't got $33 to shell out after we've already bought the popcorn, the drinks, the nachos, and the candy. So put it on your website or at least when somebody gets there, they're like, okay, well, you've already, because the popcorn was like, what, like almost $20 or something like that?
Almost. So the package we got had like 3 drinks and some other stuff and it was almost $30.
Right. So... why don't you just charge me the extra to get the collectible thing since it wasn't on your website to begin with? That is a dishonor to you, dishonor to me, and it would make a lot more sense because that the collectors are out there buying this stuff.
Yes. But
we're not all made of money. We do work jobs. So help a broke bitch out. Like, seriously, just help a broke bitch out. Because if he would have worked with me, if it would have worked with me and let me just pay the difference for the cup, since I already had the drink, and pay the difference for the freaking thing, since we already had the popcorn, they would have made even more money off of us because I would have paid the difference and walked out with a Castle Grayskull freaking popcorn thingy and a fucking He-Man cup.
It's like, but like, why do
just
that
on you, your family?
Why do that when we could even
because you didn't get
even more money?
You didn't get the money. You didn't get the money, did you? You didn't get the money, did you? And when this is my biggest complaint about a movie, which means it has nothing to do with the movie. It just has to deal with my experience at the theater of the place that I went to go see the movie. That says a lot about a movie. When that could be in the forefront of my mind and not the little nitpicky stuff of hair color or a voice. The movie did well. And I really want to see this movie do well. I really want to see a sequel come out to the theaters. I really want to see She-Ra on the big screen. And I really hope that this becomes, and if they keep it up and they keep doing as well as they did with this one, I'd like to see 3, maybe 4, no more than 4, but 3, maybe 4. We know the next one's going to be She-Ra. Maybe the next one after that, we could do Horde Prime. Horde Prime, who is Hordak and Skeletor's boss. I want to see that in the third one. Actually, you know what? In all honesty, let's just do 3. We got He-Man. Let's do She-Ra next. Then I want Horde Prime and Tila becoming the sorceress. That's all I need. That's really all I need. The defeating of Horde Prime and Adam and Tila getting married and Tila becoming the sorceress. That's all I really need. Thank you. Anyway, on that note, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. Dennis, we had so much fun.
Oh, this was such a fun experience.
I was so happy.
Oh, this
And
is a good one.
and the only thing that could be said at this point is go see the movie. And by the power of Grayskull, this movie
Movie
has
rocked.
the power.
This movie rocked.
Bye.
Oh, it's so much fun.